Module 7, Objective 13, give examples of interactions between the nervous system and each of the other organ systems, and be able to identify the significance of a neurologic exam and common disorders of the nervous system. The nervous system is going to monitor all other organ systems. It issues commands that adjust activities within the body, and just like the conductor of an orchestra, it takes lead. We see here in this diagram sort of the connections between the nervous systems and the integumentary, muscular, and skeletal systems. Neural tissue is extremely delicate. The environment outside of the cell or extracellular environment has to be maintained within homeostatic limits. And if regulatory mechanisms break down, neurological disorders appear. A neurologic examination is what physicians do to help trace the source of problems, neurologic problems. They can evaluate sensory, motor, behavioral, or cognitive functions of the nervous system. There are lots of disorders associated with the nervous system. We can experience infections, so rabies and polio are viruses that infect and target the nervous system specifically. There are congenital disorders such as spina bifida and hydrocephalus. Spina bifida is when the spinal cord fails to close, and individuals with spina bifida are born with part of their spinal cord exposed, sort of non-protected. Normally, during development, the spinal cord becomes completely encapsulated within the vertebral foramina of the vertebrae, and when that fails to occur, spina bifida results. Hydrocephalus is, it translates as water on the head or water on the brain, and that is when cerebral spinal fluid, which is continually being produced, fails to drain properly. So it accumulates and it causes the head to swell. And individuals with this condition, they have very, very large heads. And if the pressure gets too high, it can cause all kinds of neurological issues as well. There are degenerative disorders such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease. Both of these diseases are degenerative in nature. They lead to a progressive pathology that often leads to death. You can have a tumor of neural origin, so either the neurons or the neuroglial cells can become tumors. Trauma, spinal cord injuries, concussions, these are all traumas that the central nervous system can suffer. Toxins such as heavy metals and neurotoxins. Heavy metals, lead is a pretty nasty heavy metal that affects the nervous system. There are other heavy metals as well, like mercury, which can also affect. Lead was used in paint to increase the shelf life of paint. So if you add a little lead to a gallon of paint, it can sit on a shelf in a store considerably longer than before. It used to go bad so quickly. So they started adding lead to paint, and it worked well until that paint started chipping off of walls, and kids were eating those paint chips and ending up with lead poisoning. And it can have definitely a detrimental effect on the development of the nervous system. Neurotoxins, just a couple examples, the venom of the black widow spider and many snake venoms can be neurotoxins, so they affect the nervous system directly. Secondary disorders, strokes and demyelination. We talked about myelin and the function of myelin and speeding up the transmission of an action potential. Demyelination disorders occur when that myelin is degraded, whether it's an autoimmune system process or some other. The removal of the myelin slows down action potentials. A stroke occurs when a blood vessel that feeds part of the brain becomes blocked, and you physically starve whatever that blood vessel was feeding. So you can end up with some some major damage from a stroke.